This is the song that some of the boys sang as they went bravely off to World War III. So long, Mom, I'm off to drop the bomb, so don't wait up for me. But while you swelter down there in your shelter, you can see me on your TV. While we're attacking frontally, watch Brinkley and Huntley describing contrapuntally the cities we have lost. No need for you to miss a minute of the agonizing Holocaust. Yeah! Little Johnny Jones, he was a U.S. pilot, and no shrinking violet was he. He was mighty proud when World War III was declared. He wasn't scared, no siree. And this is what he said on his way to Armageddon. So long, Mom, I'm off to drop the bomb, so don't wait up for me. But though I may roam, I'll come back to my home, although it may be a pile of debris. Remember, Mommy, I'm off to get a commie, so send me a salami and try to smile somehow. I'll look for you when the war is over, an hour and a half from now.
Hello, everyone. Alan Strickland Williams here. This is Finding My Audience with Alan Strickland Williams. That was Tom Lair's So Long, Mom. I was trying to think of a connect. Oh, first off, hi. First off, hey. First off, how you doing? First off, I'm okay, but we'll talk more about that later. Second off, do things look different? If you're listening, do they? I wonder if they do sound different. I wonder if you guys can hear what's outside my window. If you're watching, obviously you noticed by now that we are in a different location than normal. I did a couple renovations to the place. I said, you know what? I wish that my downstairs room had the vibe of a hotel outside of San Francisco. That's the vibe I've always wanted. I don't know if you can see this. It's that tower, the Coit Tower. The Coitus Tower. I heard it's a tower where you have to have sex. That's just what I've heard. I'm in San Francisco, or technically I am outside of San Francisco. I'm on the road. Can you tell for the people at home, can you hear that? I didn't mean to keep these on. I've still got my wristbands on, and I will not lie to you guys. So I experienced a unique shame I've never really experienced before. I had to move my ring light tripod from the trunk of my car to the hotel, and people saw me. That's fine. This is what everyone's doing now. But when I was in the car, I did remember, I think there's a little bit of a J left in the console. So I might be a little more, I guess this is on the road. I guess this is the road life. Yes, I've got my concert things. I've seen Vampire Weekend twice this week. I'm going to see them a third time, fairly directly after I record this. It is 9:43 a.m. in where am I? Emeryville, California. It is. Hold on. It's. I did the thing where I kept all the windows open so that I'd wake up, which is also a little easier to do. I haven't really been going crazy or anything. Normally, me, I'm going crazy. Me, how I'm technically an insano. It's 66 degrees. It feels super, super hot. I turned the AC off for the sound. I want this to kind of be a quick and dirty episode just because I need to get some shit together. I need to check out. I need to get to the thing early. I want to kind of just tool around Berkeley, but that's the connection to the song by Tom Lair, Berkeley, old Oppie Oppenheimer. You might remember him from the Barbie movie. He spent some time at Berkeley, UC Berkeley, and it's really pretty up here. And last night after the show, I did realize I like saw a sign and it said I was walking on Oppenheimer Way. So I smoked the little bit of a joint I had left there down Old Oppie Way. But yeah, the trip's been great. I drove up the five. More on that later. Did the cheaper than therapy shows in San Francisco. If you guys are ever in San Francisco or looking for comedy to go check out cheaper than therapy. I think it's just look that up on Google in San Francisco. I think it's at the Shelton Theater. Really fun shows. Comics are good. It's one of those situations where there's a Friday 8 and Friday 10, and I maybe was going to try to do another show at another venue, but that's always so annoying. I was driving all day, so that's kind of said screw that. It just made more sense to just stay there. Um, but it was definitely one of those situations where like the first show was awesome. Like everyone killing, the audience is just giving it, like it was just one of those where it's like the dance is good. Um, and then like the Saturday 10 started, and I don't know what the vibe was, or I'm sorry, Friday 10, but this is always sort of a this is like kind of a trope too in comedy, the Friday late show. They weren't misbehaved. I think that's normally the thing with that is that it's like, oh, the Friday late show, it's like they're so drunk by the time you get on stage, it's just like awful. But it was more of just the fact that they just were. It was just one of those. They were just kind of quiet and everything, and everyone sort of commented on it. But I was closing out the shows, and it was funny. The producer and comic, this guy John, funny guy, was like, um, it's like, oh, it's gonna feel different than the Friday show, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, this is it. This is what it's all about, right? So I went up there and just kind of like gave it, and I mean, not as good as the Friday or as the earlier set, but it was still good, and there were some people that were really really cracking up, and by the end it was like everything kind of was hitting, but it is so funny how that goes sometimes. Where it's just like for some reason this crowd, and I was doing different stuff at the shows, but even it's like you can use the same stuff and just it'll just fall flat. They're just not into it. I don't know why. And then also I do think there is some truth sometimes too, where some audiences just like you. It's just kind of luck of the draw. It's sometimes randomly you get a room full of people who like are maybe a little too high or like are maybe not that expressive or like whatever. So anyway, that was kind of a nice reminder. But it was also nice to just do that on Friday, be done with it, and then shift over into consumption of art mode. That's what I call it. I had I got to see an old friend Sergio. I went to this place called the Tadich Grill yesterday. It was really really nice. I guess it's like one of the oldest operating restaurants. I think it's like third oldest in the country, but definitely like the oldest on the West Coast, oldest in California. I guess it started. I guess back in the day, there used to be just like this long ass pier that just like stuck out into the ocean from San Francisco, and it would just be like hundreds and hundreds of boats tied up, and then there'd be like little people would pop up and do. This is what they called them pop ups in like the 1800s. Um, but I guess like some Croatian immigrants opened a coffee shop and then turned that into maybe a little bit more. They like put like some iron up or something, and then they moved locations. But their thing is that they were grilling or like broiling fish over like mesquite charcoal. That was like the thing. So it was like real kind of old school vibe, but great. The food was really fantastic. So if you're in SF, check that out too. Um, but then mainly, I've just been sort of trying to chill in this area. Yeah, I wonder how much it's been pretty loud outside actually. I took the bus. San Francisco public transportation seems to be still working well. I know a lot of the big cities are complaining about everything. I did like two or three things so far while I was here. No big what, but it was pretty impressive. But I did come home. I guess I got back to the hotel around midnight or something, and I just heard this. There's this lady on the phone by the bus stop that just kept yelling like, "Well, why didn't you pull up? Why didn't you pull up? Why didn't you like literally like I like walked like from the bus stop, crosswalk, waited for the light to change, walked through the parking lot into the hotel, and I could still hear. And I was like, hell yeah, that's what Friday nights are all about. So that's what I've been doing on the road. I think that's basically all I need to say about that. Oh, I packed bad. Yeah, I mean not terrible, but the problem is I called my bluff, and I actually have like been exercising and walking, so I didn't bring enough. I've got it's going to be hot at the show today. The show is a matinee. The Greek Theater, by the way, at Berkeley campus is fantastic. I think Hearst might have made it. Hey, rare Hearst W, I guess. But it's going to be hot, and I was like, I have my shorts. My shorts are pretty short. Um, I did overhear last night in line. I heard a kid say to his friend, "You know, there were guys in college when Vampire Weekend came out," and I was just like, "You're goddamn right there were." But my shorts are super like short, and so I need like shorter underwear to so it doesn't stick out and I look like a weirdo. And I just didn't bring enough short underwear, so I'm gonna have to get creative. Really didn't need to share that with y'all, but anyway, that's the road. The only thing I really wanted to talk about was the. Did you guys see this Jennifer Tilly post on Twitter from at Jennifer Tilly? It's just happy birthday to my forever girl at real Gina Gershon, and then it's just Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, and they just look amazing. If you haven't seen this, I'm looking at it right now, and it's just incredible. I think this was Monday morning. I think she posted this like Monday morning. It was just like this is really like the best. It's just one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, and you can hear it. I don't know if you're not familiar, but they both sound so distinct. Well, then Gina Gershon also like she watched Curb and like what she was the lady who worked at the um what do you call it? Where you take your dry cleaners. And she had that crazy, like, thick, like, but she's like, you're very fit, Larry. Anyway, this is just another beautiful piece of art that I've been appreciating this week. The shows have been great. Really all I need in life is just to follow a band around. I totally get it now. It's like, yeah, why would you do anything else except for just see something you like? All right, let's get into some jokes. A lot of these are road themed. Let's get into it. I drove up the five. So I drove past the huge, cattle jail that's there. If you're not familiar with the five, it runs up the backbone of our great state of California. It goes through the Central Valley where a lot of the food comes from for not just the state but the country. Um, and I will say this: I do think California, we're fourth, fifth largest economy in the world. I think maybe the real working man's interstate that connects us to each other and the rest of the country. I think maybe the five could be expanded to 3 lanes the whole way. I I mean, I know that that's radical. I know that people would say he's a fool. I know that they'd say this is heresy, this is blasphemy, this is not for me. They'd say stuff like that. But I think California's earned it. I think that we can make that thing 3 lanes the whole way. So, and I drove like an a-hole. I'm sorry. It's Friday. I took the day off and I'm going up to see a band I like. Get out of my way. And I was doing this thing that I like to do sometimes. I'm gonna get murdered straight up one day, but when you see that there's a slower traffic keep right sign up ahead, I roll down my window and I point at it because get the fuck out of my way. That's why. Anyway, what was the joke? Oh, right. Okay, so I'm driving up the five. So there's the cattle things. There's these huge, and it smells like shit and everything looks awful. Anyway, I drive by the cattle, and it really was powerful. I became a vegetarian for about 26 miles, and then I saw the In and Out on the road sign, and I got that double double. I do love cows, though. I don't want cows to hear this and think I don't like them. I really do like cows. Um, Road signs, those are weird on the side of the road. It's always the same stuff. It's always McDonald's and Subway. But every once in a while, you will see like a different, like Marie's barbecue. What kind of greasy handshake backdoor deal made that happen? Did Marie suck Ronald's McDick? Did she cradle the nuggets? What happened there? They say that going to concerts. I think scientists did a study. Scientists said that going to concerts can be just as powerful as taking mushrooms, which is especially true if at the concert you take mushrooms. Those are the jokes. Let's see here. I kind of just want to get into this. Um, let's just do it. Let's get into the voicemails. Did I get some emails too? By the way, thank you for listening. How are you guys? Let me know how you're doing. Let's check in. I mean, we've got I got another. I think I called out everyone. Oh no, Brendan Cooney. Cooney jumped on the Patreon train. Thank you very much. I feel like that one's funny too because it's like now we've just canceled out each other's Patreon, so I think that's kind of cool. Isn't that what they say marriages or isn't there something about like you trade a dollar uh, when you fight? I don't know. That's so I'm not gonna get married, I guess. But anyway, thank you, Cooney. Appreciate you. Love the pod. Thank him. Um, that everything's. Oh, did I bring the thing? Oh, it's all the way over there. Oh, the lips. I see them. We've got like over 300 downloads now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I did notice that there is a slight little viewership bump there, so thank you guys for that. Thank you for keeping spreading the word and indulging me. I really do appreciate it. I'm having fun. It's also like this is a nice thing to kind of look forward to do. It is so much work. I will not lie. Like I'm doing this here, but it's nice to work on something that is like ostensibly sort of just for no other reason than because you're trying to make it good or have fun. I guess I've been kind of removed from doing stuff like that and didn't realize it, so this feels good. So thank you for that. Thank you for keeping me on the hook. I appreciate it. And speaking of, I just want to make sure that I thought I got maybe an email that I need to look at, but let's see. Yes, okay, I did. This is from um, Amy. Thank you for writing in. I love an email. Send me an email at fmawasw@alanstrickland.com and we'll get into it together. Hey ASW, longtime Twitter/IG follower. Thank you for that. Everyone else should do the same. Everyone else should, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. It would appreciate me to do that if you were so inclined. Hey ASW, longtime Twitter IG follower, first time caller. I'm writing from Canada, which is such an awesome place because of universal health care, though I don't have it yet as I am just a visitor. Do you know that under UHC vasectomies are completely covered? That's awesome. I have a vasectomy. I don't know if this is common knowledge yet. I forget if I've talked about it in the pod. I feel like I talk about it with every waking breath, which was great news for my partner who won't have to worry about more kids now that he's in his 50s. Anyway, I remember when you talked about getting snipped a couple years ago, which was so awesome. I wish more men would do this. Can you please speak to the importance of males doing their part to help control the people population and also discuss your experience, especially if it was quick and relatively pain-free? Thank you, Alan. You're so rad. Thank you, Amy. You're so rad. Okay, so let's see. There are a couple questions. Can you please speak to the importance of males doing their part? Obviously, so yeah, I mean, I do think that dudes need to take way more responsibility with this stuff, especially now, given the way things have already changed politically, legally, whatever the right word is, and looks like they might change more. Yeah, dudes, it's just like that. It's like, be prepared with all that shit. If you don't, I mean, here is my personal thing that kind of goes into the next question too. If you don't want kids, just get a vasectomy. It is without a doubt. I think it is the best decision I've ever made in my life. I think also some of the things recently I've been doing are ranking up there, but it is insane how many times not having a vasectomy has caused me an amazing amount of stress. And how now that is a thing that has essentially been taken out of my life completely. I mean, it's just like incredible. Um, so there's that. Obviously, also dudes like, you know, if you gotta get Plan B, pay for the Plan B, like stuff like that. Like, don't be a dumbbell. Think of what a really like a gentlemanly person would do, and then try to do that. Um, but yeah, I've just always, I don't want to talk too much about it. I'll just say this: there will be some more insights about the vasectomy and my personal experience on the upcoming album. Which, by the way, we're getting. I mean, I think is essentially like locked. Like I think right now I'm literally just waiting to figure out like we're figuring out how to separate everything, do the tracks and the all that stuff. So fingers crossed we'll have more there. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Amy. Thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate you. Let's see what else we got. Was there another? Um, oh, you know what's funny? I got text messages to the voicemail number. Now, I didn't say you could text me. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the texts. Texting has an outsized. It's so there's just a lot of pressure with texting. So I don't know. I'm kind of I kind of I'm also trying to feel this person out. I'm kind of wondering like the questions were a little not weird, not wrong. Um, they asked me how old I am. I'm like, they asked me my age, and I'm like, so the questions were really fucked up. But I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. If it's very important to you that we get into it via text me, I guess. But like I said, there's the email, there's the voicemail. I'll just kind of leave it at that. And I'm 69 years old, so there's that. Let's see. So I think those were the only sort of um, written correspondence. Let's just go to the voicemails. I think we got two here. Here we go.
Hey, Alan, it's me, Lampy.
Lampy called in again. Can you guys believe this? This is two. Is this our first repeat caller? I believe so. What a great one. Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Lampy.
It's 4:20 on Wednesday.
Sorry, I got to say that's awesome. Please call me at 4:20. This is awesome. And like I said, I had a little trip. I had a little HV in the car, a little hot box in the car myself. So I'm on the level. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking.
And I gotta tell you this. You're talking about going to see Vampire Weekend, and I'll say this. I don't know how I feel about them. All I know is I heard a song by them at work one night a few years ago, and I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like Fish. If you like this, you like Fish, is what I said to my coworker. And so that's kind of how I feel about Vampire Weekend. And then I found out they're big fans of Fish, so that makes sense. Well, why I'm calling is because you're about to see them, and they are going on tour with Mike Gordon, the bassist of Fish. And so, listen, if I was ranking the guys, which I would never, but he's probably third for me personally. But I think he's great. I'm not going to see him when he's in LA because I have to fucking work. But here's the thing. He's very cool. He's very stylish. He's got a big schnoz and a great head of hair. So,
I love this.
like, he's our people.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So I want to tell you this story, though, is that he wears a lot of really cool Nikes. So now this story is like an inside joke that I need to share. He wears a lot of really cool Nikes. And one night, I'm at a friend's house. Brian Sadecki, he was at our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm at his house. I see these really cool Nikes he's wearing, and they look very similar to the ones that I had just seen on Mike Gordon's Instagram page. And I say, oh, cool shoes. Those look like Mike Gordon's. Now, Brian did not know that Mike Gordon is the bassist of Fish, or did he know that Mike Gordon loved Nikes? So Brian laughed and said, sick burn. He thought I was saying Mike Gordon's, like knockoff Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Hey, those look like Mike Gordon. Can you imagine if I was that fucking funny? I could have thought of that sick burn. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And if it didn't, it's 420, okay? And I'm going to say this last thing. Sorry, I feel like I'm taking up a lot of time. The last thing I'm going to say is, Disney's good! Disney's good! Bye!
This is good. Thank you, Lampy, for calling in. It did make sense. That is hilarious. And hey, you were that funny. You still did it. Yeah, I think that I'm interested in Mike Gordon. So yesterday I met my friend to eat, and then I drove back over the bridge, and then I took the bus up there and walked and everything. So I didn't time everything perfectly. Today I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get there early because I'm trying to park and then just immediately go back to LA after the concert. But I'm gonna check out Mike's actual set tonight. I'm very excited. I will say this too with what you said about listening to them. They are, especially now, I would say, since their last two albums have been way more. I would say that what you said about them sound like Fish would apply mostly to these two albums, and they're very they booked the tour, they're very pro Fish. They did a little bit. They've been doing this thing during their encores where instead of taking requests of the songs, they take requests of other people's songs. So they played a little bit of Casey Jones by The Dead last night. And they kind of just do maybe 20, 30 seconds or whatever. They did That Thing You Do last night. They did Buddy Holly by Weezer. But Ezra was like, I just want to actually do some Buddy Holly. It was awesome. I can't remember everything else they did, but I'm gonna check out Mike. And yeah, I think that all that to say, they've been talking about on their podcast and in interviews and stuff how they're kind of more they're like, oh, we're becoming more of a jam band, and they're kind of cool with that. And when they started, it was Rostam was still in the band. It was definitely way more of just a straight studio project. But it has been very, very cool to see how and even from the last tour, the live element of the shows is just incredible. I guess you can't really spoil stuff like this, but I don't know if people are waiting to see the show on the rest of the tour. I don't want to talk about it too much because there are some, I would say, sort of surprises that happen. But on the most part, it's just so fun too, especially when you're watching this band and I'm like, oh my god, you guys have 5 albums with 8 great songs on each one, and then some of these are amazingly good, and I'm just and I'm glad I've been going to multiple shows too because their catalog's so big at this point that there's definitely they're amazing, some of their top songs that I haven't heard yet, hoping to hear them today, or at the very least, the fourth time I see Vampire Weekend in Florida, which is way, way later in their tour. But anyway, Aaron, I love you. Thank you for calling. 420 for life, 420 crew for life, 420 Big Snoz, great head of hair crew for life. Let's see, who do we got here?
Hey gang, first time, long time. Calling in to see if are you garbage if you take pictures of your speedometer while you're speeding to then show your friends later? Oh fuck. Wait, is this? Hey Alan, calling about the new podcast. I came up with an idea for a show which I think is fitting because I wanted to ask you if this was anything. I came up with an idea for a comedy show that's called Pass the Hat. And basically, what you do is you pass around the hat, but like while the comedian is being introduced. And then when the hat gets back up to the host, we count the money and or items that are in the hat. And then we announce that your comedian will be performing for this much money and or items to incentivize comedians to do a better job with goods and services. This is Justin, by the way, Justin Linton, Puff Rings. I love you, I miss you, and I love your podcast. It sounds really good, and I'm glad that you took my advice. Have a wonderful rest of your day while me and my wife eat cheese and tostadas. So, talk to you soon. Thanks.
Justin, thank you for calling. Cheese tostada sounds very good right about now. Yeah, I like the hat idea. Look, I've always said, if a show doesn't have a gimmick, I'm not going. Okay, I'm not performing on it either if there's not a gimmick. So I love that. I also like just any chance where collectively a group of people gets to count money. I think that's always good. I think nothing bad has ever happened while that type of thing has been going on. And yes, I should say thank you to Justin Lentz because, or maybe I shouldn't say the last name, but for Justin, because he was like, hey, you know that on GarageBand you can do this thing, and it did help with the audio quality. So thank you very much, man. That really does mean a lot. And those are the voicemails. I was digging through to see. Let me see if I can find a poem to read really fast, but I kind of think that, you know what? Yeah, we're good. We're on the road. I'm rocking and rolling. You guys were kind enough to be my passenger on the interstate of life, and thank you for wearing your seatbelt. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna pack up. I'm going to go see Vampire Weekend. Do I have anything to plug for when I'm back? I don't think so. Looking ahead, I'm going to see another concert. I'm going to see TV Girl. If we got any TV Girl fans, and we're going to the shows, where is it? The Wiltern? Maybe there could be a group outing. I will say there's still an Easter egg. I think it was in the 4th episode on YouTube. If if you're getting into this, I'm just saying, give the YouTubes a watch the videos, and maybe if you see something, say something. It's about terrorism. No. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in the Funny Papers. I'm Alan Strickland Williams. This is Finding My Audience. Bye-bye.